Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Autism with Shannon and Nancy. I'm Nancy Alspaugh-Jackson.
And I'm Shannon Penrod.
And we are here today again on a Wednesday. I love this hour with you.
I love this hour with you, and I got to spend some time with you on Monday, which was great. Maybe we can find some time to talk about that
later in the show.
Yes.
Do we have some pictures?
I don't know. I don't know if we have any pictures yet.
Okay.
But
we do. Emily says we do. Our fabulous director, Emily, says we do.
We've got an exciting guest today, and we've got some exciting things that happen in the news. I don't know, exciting, but interesting things that happen in the news, both from the New York Times in this last week. The first one, more evidence that doctors are discovering that men and their age is a factor.
It is a factor. And this is sort of a study that really confirms it, is my understanding. It was published in the journal Nature. It's caused a lot of reaction, actually. There was, this was on the front page of the New York Times, the study, and then there was an opinion article in the New York Times yesterday, hooray for the male biological clock. It's about time men stopped cruising through, having children at any age, and women sharing all the burden of worry. But I also gleaned from many of the reactions from other scientists around the country, this is such a small, minute portion of the rise in numbers, because apparently whatever it was like 5% of 5%, they're saying this is not at all a situation where a father considering having a child over the age of 40 should be panicked.
Right.
Which is important to note.
And people are kind of comparing it to Down syndrome, that for all these years we've known that if you're over a certain age as a woman, that your incidence of having a child with Down syndrome goes up, but it doesn't mean you're absolutely going to have a child with Down syndrome, nor does it mean if you're a 21-year-old female that you have no possibility of having a Down syndrome child. It could happen. It's just the percentages. You're more likely.
And a well-known scientist and researcher reacted to the study by saying, let's stop all the alarms going off, that there's really far more evidence that environment is the cause in the epidemic, and that's where the studies need to be done.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people see these articles and go, oh, that's it. When in fact, it might be one portion of a piece of puzzle.
Small portion.
But there's another piece of the puzzle that's being talked about that was also in the New York Times, talking about immune disorder as a potential route for autism. Now, this is of particular interest to me, because both of these, you're singing my song here. My husband was over the age of 40 when we had GEM, and I had an autoimmune disorder when we had GEM. So both of these studies are of particular interest to us in our household. But looking at this and seeing that it appears that there is a type of autism that is linked to inflammatory disease, and that it begins in the womb, and that it stems from immune dysregulation from the mother.
Okay.
So,
well, interesting, you're talking about your case. Here, in Wyatt's case, we had a 19-year-old father. Wyatt was adopted, young couple who had unwanted pregnancy and decided to put the baby up for adoption. And Wyatt's birth mother was 19 and in totally fine health, except her parents were both drug addicts. She was not, but her parents were drug addicts.
Interesting.
So I don't know what that might say. I'm fiddling with this IFB here, but no analogy for older fathers there.
Right.
So, we can't, there's nothing definitive, right?
There's nothing definitive.
As usual.
But what this study does suggest, the immune disorder one, that there's more information that we need to have, and not that women who have autoimmune need to necessarily panic and say, I'm not going to have a child. But that as they further look into this and do more research, to find a way to counteract that during pregnancy to reduce the risk is, I think, where we're going. And if you are someone who is thinking about getting pregnant, to talk to your doctor about how you can boost your immune system during that time so that you can reduce your potential.
That's right.
So really interesting articles, both of them in the New York Times. You can find them online if you want to read the entire studies, but some pretty fascinating information. more information, that can never be a bad thing.
That can never be a bad thing as we
Right.
study it.
As long as we stay calm about it.
Okay.